Do you mind explaining to the post-World War II pensioner generation who are hurt by rising prices just why they should get less under a future Labour government than under a future Tory one?
Well, I want taxes on working people and pensioners to be lower. But to be able to do that, you've got to explain where the money is going to come from. And yesterday, the Conservatives were using this pot of money to create a national service. Today, they're saying they're going to use this money to cut taxes. The truth is, the Tory sums just don't add up. They've had 14 years to crack down on tax avoidance. They haven't done that. I don't think people can have any confidence in these desperate gimmicks that they're putting out now.
But there isn't there raw electoral politics here. The Tories are pumping money towards pensioners because pensioners are more likely to vote for the Tories. You're not, because they don't.
I think people, including pensioners, can see what's happening here. The Conservatives are desperately adding more baubles to a Christmas tree. But the truth is, unless you can be really clear about where the money's going to come from, then these sums just don't add up, and therefore they're not deliverable. And that's the question people have to ask at this election. Do they want another 5 years of chaos and decline under the Conservatives, or a changed Labour Party offering stability? And frankly, after what we've had these last few years, stability is change.
Now, at the event here in Derbyshire, you just said that there are no additional tax rises needed beyond the ones that are set out. How long does that promise last for?
Well, our manifesto sets out what we would like to do in the next Labour government. And all of our promises, the 40,000 additional appointments a week in the NHS, the 6,500 additional teachers in our schools, all of those are fully costed and fully funded. They don't require any further increases in taxes.
Hang on, no, you said that there will be no additional tax rises needed. How long is that blanket promise not to do tax rises beyond what you've already set out going to last for?
Well, I'm not going to write a budget here, but we've been really clear.
Hang on, were you not right? You said...
Sam, there is nothing in our plans that require any further increases in taxes. I have confidence in that.
Hang on,
Voters can have confidence.
There's nothing in your plans, but you say there will be no additional tax rises. There's a difference between those two. One allows for there to be more tax rises, one doesn't. Which is it? Because you said that there will be no additional tax rises barely an hour ago.
Well, we have no plans for increased taxes, and indeed we said at the weekend that for the duration of the next Parliament there'll be no increases in income tax and national insurance. I would like those taxes to be lower, but I'm not going to make any unfunded commitments to cut taxes without being able to say where the money's going to come from.
So did you misspeak on tax policy in the last hour? I mean, could you end up increasing VAT in any way at all in the next Parliament?
Well, we've already said on VAT, for example, Sam, that VAT will apply to private school fees. So we've already made that commitment.
And that is one of the commitments that you've made. But your statement an hour ago was that there would be no additional tax rises. Could there be rises to VAT beyond that in the next Parliament? Can you rule that out?
We don't need to increase VAT
Can you rule it out?
We don't need to increase VAT because...
Well, then will you rule it out?
Sam, we don't need to increase any taxes because all of our plans, unlike the Conservatives, are fully costed and fully funded. And people can have confidence in that there will be nothing that we put forward that we can't explain where the money's going to come from. And we've put out the limited tax increases that a Labour government will introduce. And people could be confident that we will not be going further than that. The commitments around business rates and VAT on private school fees, the commitment to crack down on tax avoidance and ensure non-DOMs pay their fair share of tax, the tax on private equity bonuses so that is fair, and an extension of the windfall tax. That is the sum total of the tax increases that we are putting forward, and that is the sum total of what is needed to fund the commitments that we have made.
But everybody's expecting you to get into power if you win the election, declare that there's a much bigger black hole than you're expected because of the Tory mess, and then suddenly you will have plans to put up other taxes other than the ones that you've specifically ruled out. Can you rule out anything around VAT? Are there other tax rises that you think might have to run? Your plans might change.
There are no further increases in tax that we are planning or that we need to fill any black holes.
So are you ruling that out for the whole Parliament?
Well, we've already ruled out increases in income tax, national insurance and corporation tax. That's further...
But not the others. That's the point. You sound like you're not going to raise... So you're not going... So there could be raises in other taxes other than those three.
I'm not going to write a budget here, but I've been very clear about the tax changes that are needed to fund the plans that we've put forward. And voters can be certain, unlike with the Conservatives, who are putting out £64 billion worth of unfunded tax cuts, that there's nothing in my plans that's not fully costed and fully funded. And that is the difference now between the Labour Party that will put stability first and a Conservative Party that is desperately throwing around huge cheques without any idea how they're going to pay for them.